Jason Ferguson, guitar technician at Finlay and Gage in Maplewood, New Jersey. Once again, today we are demystifying the truss rod. The adjustable truss rod is something that you find in pretty much the vast majority of guitars and basses that are built today. Most guitars will have an access point at the top of the neck. Some of them have it at the bottom. It doesn't really matter where the access point is. They all function essentially the same way. If you're having action problems on your guitar, that being the height of the strings is way too high up, it could be because your neck is not in proper relief. And that's what the truss rod is really for. If your action is too high, a good portion of the time, you have a concave bow in your neck, so it needs to be straightened out. If you're experiencing buzzing in the lower register, like from the 6th to 5th fret back, that's a good indicator that you have a back bow on your guitar, and the relief needs to be exaggerated a little bit, all right? So the way to adjust that is relatively simple. First, you need to sight the neck, and the way to do that is to put the guitar on a good surface with good light coming down, close one eye, and have a look at the strings compared to the neck, all right? What a lot of people do is they compare the string to the edge of the fretboard. Don't do this. Comparing it to the edge of the fretboard is not a good indicator because the edge of the fretboard may not actually be true. It might have, anomalies in it that can create an optical illusion telling you something that isn't really there, all right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna compare the string to the shadow of the string directly underneath it, okay? The string, for obvious reasons, is always going to be straight, but the shadow will cast an image of how the neck is directly underneath it. That's why you need good light, all right? So in good light, you look at the string, you look at the shadow underneath it, and if the shadow looks like this, then you need to loosen the truss rod or turn it the opposite way so that it comes flat again. If it's like this, then you need to tighten the truss rod. Tighten the truss rod will bring the neck straight again. Now, here I have set up an actual truss rod. This is a two-way adjustable truss rod, which is found in a lot of guitars. Not all of them are two-way. Some of them only compensate for a forward bow, a concave look on your neck. This one will compensate for both concave and convex. All right, so if you have a back bow, this will straighten it out. If you have a forward bow, this will also straighten it out. All right, things to remember, 99% of the time, it's gonna be righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, all right? If you have a concave neck, a forward bow, you need to tighten it up. And what this does, when you tighten it, you can see right here, it causes the truss rod to bend in the opposite direction. This exerts force on the inside against the fretboard, which resists the pull of the strings, all right? Thus, straightening out the neck. Now, if you go the other way on this, lefty-loosey, it exerts force in the opposite direction, thus removing a back bow. You see? Back bow would be like this, and this exerts force in the opposite direction. Very simple. The thing to remember here is you don't want to overturn, all right? When you're adjusting your truss rod, what you do is you bring your strings to tension. Make sure the guitar is in tune, because if it's not, then you're not going to get an accurate read on where the neck is actually sitting when it's at full tension, all right? So your guitar's in tune, and when you're turning your truss rod, turn it gently. Don't force it if it's really stuck there, and only turn it maybe an eighth to a quarter of a turn each time, all right? And then let it sit for a minute, check it out, and see if the guitar is set up right. And if it is, leave it alone. Ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's not, give it a little bit more of a tweak. If you go too far, don't be afraid to go right back the other way. All right? This is Jason Ferguson at Finlay and Gage in Maplewood, New Jersey. Like us, share us, and leave your comments below.